Imagine standing on the battlefield of your own mind. Every day you face forces pulling you in different directions. Desires, temptations, and impulses that seem impossible to resist. Some creep in subtly, unnoticed, while others overwhelm, consuming your thoughts, energy, and even your sense of purpose. Among all the forces that attempt to dominate human will, there is one that has shaped the fate of empires, determined the rise and fall of men, and tested even the greatest minds in history. That force is lust. Now, what if I told you that the person who conquers this single force holds the key to conquering everything else? What if overcoming lust is not merely about self-control but about unlocking the highest levels of clarity, power, and mastery over life itself? This is not just a theory, it is a truth echoed by some of the greatest philosophers, spiritual leaders, and thinkers of all time. Today you will discover why. Lust has long been a paradox, both a source of creation and destruction. It has driven great works of art, inspired poets, and led warriors into battle. Yet it has also been the downfall of kings, the ruin of reputations, and the cause of endless suffering. Throughout history, countless stories tell of men who reached the pinnacle of power only to be undone by their inability to master their desires. Consider powerful rulers like Alexander the Great, who conquered vast territories yet struggled to conquer his own impulses. Julius Caesar reshaped Rome, but his entanglements with desire made him vulnerable. Even Napoleon Bonaparte, a military genius, saw his leadership and decisions influenced by personal relationships. These were men of vision and action, but in the moments when their desires controlled them, they lost their clarity, their power, and ultimately their destiny. But why? Why is it that even the strongest individuals, those who have shaped history, have struggled to master their own desires? The answer lies in the very nature of lust itself. Unlike hunger or thirst, which serve clear biological functions and have limits, lust is insatiable. It is a fire that grows stronger the more it is fed. Left unchecked, it consumes time, energy, and, most importantly, the essence of focus and willpower. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, studied this deeply. He proposed that much of human behavior is driven by unconscious desires, particularly sexual ones. He argued that uncontrolled impulses lead to self-destructive patterns. But here lies the crucial insight. Freud also believed that the ability to redirect and sublimate these desires could result in extraordinary creativity, intelligence, and productivity. In other words, the same energy that fuels lust can be transformed into something far greater. This is not a modern idea. Some of the greatest minds in history recognized this truth. Nikola Tesla, one of the most brilliant inventors ever, was known for his celibacy. He believed that by abstaining from indulgence, he could focus his mental and creative energy entirely on his work. His ability to push boundaries and bring forth innovations that shaped the modern world was, in many ways, a result of his discipline. The Stoics understood this well. Philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius knew that true freedom does not come from indulging every impulse but from mastering them. To be ruled by desire is to be a slave. To control desire is to be truly powerful. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Roman emperors, reminded himself daily that a man controlled by his passions is weak, but a man who rules over them is unshakable. So, consider this: how much of your life, your energy, your potential, has been consumed by distractions born from unchecked desires? How much of your focus has been stolen by momentary indulgences that offer nothing in return but regret? More importantly, what would happen if you reclaimed that energy and redirected it toward something meaningful? Many believe self-mastery is about suppression, about denying oneself pleasure. But that is not the truth. The real goal is transformation. Instead of being enslaved by impulses, you become the master of them. Instead of chasing temporary gratification, you channel that energy into building something far greater, whether it is success, wisdom, creativity, or deep fulfillment. Every moment of temptation is a test. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you grow stronger. And with each victory over desire, you gain more control over your mind, your destiny. But how does one truly break free from the chains of lust? What psychological, philosophical, and spiritual techniques allow for true self-mastery? Most importantly, what is the ultimate reward for those who succeed in this battle? The answers to these questions reveal a path few dare to walk. But those who do are transformed forever. The battle against lust is not just about resisting temptation. It is about understanding the deeper forces at play within the human mind. If you attempt to fight it without understanding its roots, you will always struggle. But once you uncover the mechanisms that drive this impulse, you gain the power to master it completely. Lust is not merely a physical desire. it is a psychological and emotional phenomenon deeply wired into the human brain. At its core, it is linked to the reward system, the same neurological circuitry that governs addiction, pleasure, and motivation. When indulged, the brain releases a surge of dopamine, reinforcing compulsive patterns that become difficult to break. But here is the truth few realize: the same neural circuits that drive lust can be harnessed for higher purposes. The ancient concept of transmutation, the idea that raw energy can be redirected into something greater, is not just a spiritual belief, it is a scientifically supported reality. Throughout history, disciplined individuals have channeled their energy into extraordinary achievements. Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, and countless others achieved greatness by mastering their impulses. Across spiritual traditions, from Eastern philosophies like Taoism and Brahmacharya to Western Stoicism, the conservation and redirection of sexual energy have been seen as essential for enlightenment, intelligence, and willpower. But the real transformation begins when resistance is no longer necessary, when what once felt like a struggle becomes effortless. This is the state of true transcendence, where desire is no longer a burden but a force mastered and directed toward higher creation. Imagine walking through life with absolute confidence, clarity, and focus. Imagine being in such control of yourself that no external force, no temptation, no distraction, can pull you away from your purpose. This is not a fantasy, it is the natural result of mastering desire. True freedom is not found in indulging every whim, but in being free from the need to indulge at all. And those who master themselves do not just gain control, they gain the power to shape their reality. The choice is yours: remain enslaved to impulse, or rise above and take control of your destiny. He who conquers lust conquers everything else. And those who master themselves master the world.